Just under a year ago, I took the advice of quite a well-known bonsai expert, Peter Chan of Herons Bonsai. And because of that advice, I think I truly have transformed this beautiful future Literati Japanese larch. To find out how the journey progressed this year and see exactly what I'm going to do now, you want to keep watching. Because I tell you what, this one has really made my day. And hopefully you'll enjoy it too. Hiya, it's Xavier. Welcome to our bonsai retreat. And you know what? I've been really looking forward to doing this. This is my Literati Japanese larch, inspired by some advice from Peter Chan. And we're going to look at this. We're going to look at the raffia. We'll be taking the wire off. We're going to see, importantly, whether or not this actual blend has held, because it's been on for just over 11 months, because I think I did this in the middle of last winter. Which brings me on to my first thing I'm going to say straight away. If you look back in my videos, back to 2022, you'll see that I was pretty fixed in this view that I'd had some bad experience with wiring Japanese larch in winter. And I sort of was pretty well down the line of others may do it, but I don't. Well, do you know what? And I think we see it through a lot of channels, especially through mine. Experience, knowledge from others, and trying different things often just tempers some of our fixed views. And certainly my fixed view on never wiring larch in winter has changed. And this larch, a couple of other larches that you may or may not see later in the year, got wired in winter. And you know what? They're absolutely fine. It's about being careful. No, we don't wire in the middle of a frost, but you know what? It's the 23rd of November. We had a short cold spell, but right now, it's, dare I say, mild at 9 or 10 degrees. No sign of frost in the future. Great and safe time, I think, to be adding some wire carefully to our deciduous bonsai, and in particular, our deciduous conifers, i.e. the Japanese larch. Now, I've been taking footage over the course of the year, just showing how this has developed, how the buds come out. We get to see it in April, then later in June, looking towards the end of July, until eventually we revisit now in November. And now I think it's time, really, to take that wire off and see, do we need to apply it again? Or can we start doing some of the inspired ideas that actually came from Tom of Tom's Eye Bonsai? And right now I'm hoping you're seeing a picture of a design he sent me way back in winter of 2020. Is it winter of 2025 now? Well, back last December or January, when he said where he thought this would be the next step and the next level for this. And certainly I've got this lovely branch structure. I think wire will be able to fulfill the design application that Tom has brilliantly sent to me. Also, I want to celebrate. I've got one particular bonsai enthusiast, Elmer, who many of you'll notice quite often drops 4 lines of haiku in the comments for various things, and some of them, well, all of them are good, but some of them are exceptional. Well, he's done an absolute brilliant literati related poem, which I want to read to you in a minute. Now, the other question I do have actually relates to the Dawn Isaac ceramic that it's in. It's been in this now for certainly 2, I think coming up for 3 years. It'll be 3 years next year. So it is due for a repot, and the question I have for you, and you don't have to answer it right now, you can wait to the end of the video, is would you keep this tree in this incredible, I love it, this Dawn Isaac ceramic, or would you look at going at something more traditional, or what? Where would you see it going? So as I do this video, bear that in mind, because I've got a couple of months to decide and try and find an alternative pot if one becomes available. And I'd be very interested, because I love this. I do love this pot, but it can be a bit unstable in the wind. It's been over on its side a number of times. So you tell me that one. Anyway, we need to get the wire off. But before we do, Let's hear this literati poem from Elmer. It's titled Literati, a poem among bonsai. A literati has a single graceful line, the trunk. A manuku has a single graceful line, the sentence. Both revolve around essence and space. The words you do not write, or the branches you do not leave, are just as important as those you do. It's almost as if the tree itself is speaking the manaku. I love that, and I love the spacing in the timber. Is it timber or temper? Not sure. Anyway, Elmer, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, and keep on writing those lovely lines of haiku as well in future videos. And again, I will say to people that Elmer does indeed have his own YouTube channel. He does it all on shorts, where all this haiku can be found there. And there's one right there, hopefully. In the description, there's a link to his haiku channel. It's normally all bonsai related. I'll tell you what, I encourage you to skip across there and have a look, because certainly all the haiku you see in the comments will be there. Highly recommended. Anyway, who wants to see the wire come off and see whether or not it goes from that to that? Actually, just thought, why don't we go back and have a look at how this was looking when those buds just started coming out. It's probably my favourite time of the year for Japanese larch. So let's head back to a much warmer April of 2025, shall we? Well, it's the 25th of April. I thought I'd bring you back now just to see how this is looking with all... This is I think when Japanese larch are at their absolute best. All of the buds have opened up, and truthfully, with the amount of wire I put on, I was worried that I might have killed a few branches, just be rough handling, but in fact all of these pads are going to develop as I want them to. That, in comparison to what it really was like, I can't believe I was happy with that for so many years. That is just incredible. Looking at the wire and the raffia, we're not going to get any great thickening or anything happening over the year. I will probably leave that wire on right through and look at it later in the year. And as you can see, look, it has put on so much growth. And that tells me, I mean, if I go around it, every single shoot has extended, and even for most of my healthy trees, that's unusual. That's telling me this larch is absolutely loving its new clothes. So would I be tempted right now to look at all that lovely growth and actually prune some of it back? No, I'm not. I'm going to let those extensions continue to grow out, to fatten, to feed more and more great stuff into the soil. So for me, there's only one thing left to do. Continue to feed it and to treat it like royalty, because as one of my first ever bonsais, it started off as a 2-year-old sapling back in 2000, and now, well, I think it's going to turn into an absolute princess. Well, it's the 11th of August, and we're in the middle of our 4th separate so-called heat wave, up around the 30s. It's quite nice actually. The sun's hidden behind the clouds, but it's very, very muggy and warm. And wow, this tree has loved having that wire and stuff done to it, because it is looking just incredible. And I didn't expect this degree of response from it. And I can be able to create these different pad levels. I can see it. I've got loads and loads of shoots, and it's just a different tree. It's absolutely amazing. It really is. If it's made anything worthwhile, it's that visit to see Peter Chan, honestly. Okay, well, that brings us up to the present, and I suppose there's only one way to do it. I mean, I'm expecting some sort of spring back, but should we just see what happens? Well, that stayed in place. That has continued to stay in place. Well, what do you reckon? Is this going to suddenly buoying up? Okay, I'm seeing a little bit, just a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem, because if I look at this bend here, It's actually almost a box. I could do with it just coming up. Actually, that's not moving up at all. We'll see what happens when I take this off, shall I? Okay, we've got a little bit of okay, wow. There's just, yeah, it's just come away a bit, and I think that works actually. So I'm going to continue to take the rest of the wire off. So I suppose that's the first success, is that, you know, wire was on for 10 and a half months, and we may see a little bit more coming up, but actually that's pretty well kept that shape there. This has stayed down, and I think I can probably safely take off the raffia and start wiring out some of these little branches so that we can follow Tom's advice and continue this development of the Literati. And just for those of you who know, I do actually recycle my wire, and when I say recycle, I mean it all gets collected and then taken to the metal bin at the recycling yard. Unfortunately, they don't give me much money for that. So I'm going to get the raffia off that, and again with that, nothing exciting. I just need to cut the knot and hopefully not cut the branch with it, and then start that process of unwrapping and seeing. Presumably we're going to have no obvious, I don't think we're going to have any damage at all on the bark. Certainly there's no indentations from the wire, and the reason why this has held so well is because, as you saw through the year, there's been a lot of healthy growth on this. So that's what's going to help. That's what's helped this set in place, so to speak, like a really nice jelly. Well, surprisingly, that took me 30 minutes to get that small amount of raffia off, and though it's come off really nicely, there's no markings there. It was literally coming out in little piecemeal bits. It took me ages, and though I said it's warmer, it is still less than 10 degrees. My hands are absolutely freezing, so I'm actually probably going to go inside and warm up for a bit. And all I need to do now is I've got some 1.5, some 1mm wire, and I am going to start applying wire onto all of this growth. And as I'm sure you can imagine, that 1mm wire, absolutely going to be perfect for all of these, to start laying these down. Once the wire's on, I'll come back to you, and we'll start doing some jiggly pokery. Well, I've done my best. To be fair, I've tried different filming angles. This is such fine wire, and I've got such fat fingers that all you were going to see was this if I tried to show you the wiring. So I tell you what, let's come in and see what I've done so far. Really, I've just wired out this lower branch here, and I'm just trying to spread out. These are longer than they need to be, but as I say, it's creating those levels coming down. But the buds I'm actually going to want are literally 1 or 2 right at the back here. But we'll keep this length going, and really I've just got to keep on creating the separation, pulling the branches down initially, and then see how in the spring these buds produce further back, and as I do with all larch pruning. And probably, I think most of you who've done wiring will know, this is the hardest bit, and probably the bit that puts most people off wiring, because you know, I've got to individually go around to all these hundreds of little branches like these two here, get the wire on, and then systematically just put a little bit of movement in, work my way around here, and do the same. Then you've got to find, you've got some of the thicker branches closer in, so you're going to need the 1.5 or the 2mm wire. And when you've got big fat fingers like these, and such small places to work with, it can really be time consuming and frustrating, especially if you put the wire the wrong way, because then you've got to take it off. And again, when you look how delicate those little buds are in close there, that's why you don't want to be doing it when it's like absolutely frozen, because you're just going to break stuff, knock buds off, and in the end all that work will be for nothing. But you know what? You've got to keep testing yourself. You've got to be practicing and honing those wiring skills, because that's the only way you're going to produce that really top-notch bonsai that you want. So I'm going to go back and keep on wiring and show you how it looks when it's finished. Okay, I've just got a few at the top to do here. I'll keep apologising. There is no way I could have filmed me wiring all these individual branches, but hopefully you're seeing exactly that sort of, wow, I'm really impressed the way they're going to get all these pads out and everything. I think it's fantastic. A little bit's going to be coming down the front. I've just wired up these, and I really just need to now bring it down. So I've got a little bit, I want to have a little bit in the front here. So, and the thing is always in the same here is you're always looking to bend down and twist in the direction that you've actually put the wire on. And you could argue, oh gosh, you must have to think long and hard about making sure you get the direction right. Most of the time, just find some branches to wrap them around and then go in that direction. In this sort of wiring conundrum, I think that'd be just a bit beyond me for a tree this size. But you know what? I think it's looking pretty good. Probably a few of you might be saying, with all this wire, surely there's going to be an issue with scarring and bite, because obviously when it comes to the spring, these are all going to swell up. We're going to get loads and loads of nice green fresh buds like we saw in the beginning the video, and we're not going to have anything, we're not going to have any easy way really of being able to take them off, so to speak. And you know what, not sure I like that. Let me have a play with that. Trying to talk and wire, it's not working. I'll come back to you in a minute. And there you go. And do you know what? Wow, I did that. My wiring skills are slowly getting better. My competence and my confidence are improving with every tree I put wire on. Do you know what? It's going to be a nightmare next year because it is going to flush out. I am going to have to watch out on the swelling and potential marking and scarring. And I also have to be aware that though I get better and better, you know, it may well be that I've done some damage to some of this these younger shoots. I think they're all right, but we're only going to know that when we watch the buds that come out in 2026. Now, the other thing that many of you will probably say is, surely these little shoots you've wired out far too long. And the truth is, I wanted to get that general shape. I wanted to get the effect that I'm looking at building the pads. I'm going to let them come out, and then probably on the second pruning, sometime in late May, I will cut right back and then see if we can get a lot more tighter and compact growth based on the framework. That's the secondary structure there, probably even tertiary, that I've built up. You know what? Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this progression over a year, and remember, this came because I finally took some advice, despite me thinking that's never going to work. I'm never going to be able to bend that branch down. And look at it now. Thanks to Peter Chan, thanks to Tom of Tom's Eye, who again put the idea on my head to build those shoots and then bend them back down. Tom, hopefully that's something that you were thinking of. And also, again, big shout out to Elmer. Oh, and even to the guy who's doing the saw blading now. Big thanks to Elmer, because the haiku you regularly do is fantastic. I love it. And hey, all I'll say now is that I'm definitely going to wait for that to finish. So with the power saw being put away, hopefully for a few minutes, I'm going to go and look at this one. I've got a number of larches which I've allowed to boost out, gain some energy and vigor, and I've got to put some wire on. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait a few days because I've run out of 1.5mm and 2mm wire. So I've got to go get some. For those of you who are waiting for that visit, which I promised probably a week ago now to Save a Nursery, that is going to come up. But when the weather's like this, I come outside. I think we've got rain for another 9 days, so I'll get that visit in and see if I can pick myself up a nice maple. And oh, heads up, I spoke to John of Tony's dad, Tony's Bonsai, and he was saying to me, Zav, thanks ever so much for the work you do, but I've got a load of trees that need work. I've got a load of trees that I may not want anymore. And he asked if I wanted to go up there. So I'm going to plan on going up there February, March time, spend a couple of days, hopefully do some work on some trees, probably bring a load back. But actually, John said to me, he says, if there's anyone you know who might want to take on one of Tony's trees, because I'm getting the impression there's just too much for him to look after, then maybe you want to make contact. So what I'll do is I'll do a full video, document everything that's available up there, everything that John's happy to pass on, and rather than me deal with you, once you've seen that video, you'll be able to make contact, and if you can get up there, probably snap yourself up a memory of Tony and Tony's bonsai. So do you know what? I think that's pretty exciting. And if you want to see that come up, well, do you know what? Best thing to do, subscribe, bell notifications, all that stuff, because those videos won't be coming out for another couple of months, as well as probably an update on how this Escalonia has been going on, which this has been a long-term project on my channel and is really, really impressing me. A couple of videos about that. In fact, to remind yourself about that Escalonia, great video. Apart from that, happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.